Hey trappers, Dale Billingsley here, Billingsley Brand Lures. Don't mind me guys, I'm just in the lure room here bottling up some bait for y'all, bottling up some of my Raccoon bait. And it kind of got me to thinking, as I'm sitting here bottling this, about the diet habits of raccoon. You know, we discussed yesterday about coyotes and how they crave sugar, canines do. So let's talk today about raccoons. So there's no doubt that the dog-proof trap has revolutionized the raccoon trapping world. They're pretty much foolproof, you know, for the most part. I personally don't like them, as a lot of my continued viewers know. I don't care for them. They're kind of a one-trick pony. You know, they're basically a raccoon, skunk, and possum trap. The occasional red fox once in a while, and that's about it. Whereas I like to take everything that's coming down that trail: the fox, the coyotes, the bobcats, the skunk, the mink, everything. That's why I prefer a foothold, snare, or conibear over the dog-proof when I can use them. Now, understand that, stay within the means of your laws as to what you can use. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the dietary needs of a raccoon. So, early in the season, a lot of guys have really good success with a sweet type bait. No doubt about that. You know, they're just like we talked about yesterday with the canines and how they crave that sugar early in the season. They need that to build up the fat to help them survive and get through the winter. But as the season progresses and as the weather turns worse, just like their canine cousins, they switch more towards a meat-based diet. And the reason that is, they need that protein. They need that protein as the weather gets colder and it gets nastier to help them stay warm and help them survive. And I feel a lot of raccoon trappers make the mistake by going out late season, and I'm talking from mid-December on. Excuse me, drop the lid. From mid-December, well, actually from about the first, second week of December on, they go out when the weather's changed and try to trap those raccoons with the same method and the same bait or lure that they were using back in November. And then they wonder why they don't have the results that they should have had. Well, number one, the biggest thing is, ain't as many coon left out there if you have a lot of trappers in your area. Okay? That's the first thing. Those raccoon that are left, they're starting to get a little waspy and starting to get a little wise, especially to a dog-proof trap. You can see it in the snow. You can prove it to yourself where they go along and they will pick that dog-proof up out of the ground, dump out the cat food, the dog food, whatever you might have in it, eat it, drop the trap, and go to the next one, do the exact same thing. You see that happen quite often. So using the same bait, same methods, same everything that you used back in late October through the month of November ain't going to put the coon on stretchers like you should, if you would switch up tactics, switch up methods, switch up baits and lures. Their dietary needs have changed. They're no longer in the same locations that they were back in November. They've moved from the cornfields and the acorn groves down to the water. Late in the season, if the water's still open, the river is the giver of life. Okay, you always remember that when it comes to raccoon. That's where your shad kill is. That's where your carp are. That's where the minnows are and the suckers and the chubs and everything that lives there. That's where the food is. That's where the coon are going to be. Plus, they've got to have water. I mean, there's no way around it. No explanation to it other than they've got to have it in order to survive. Colder it gets, the more they got to have. So that's why you go towards the bigger rivers, bigger creeks. You're running tiles, and I'm talking about field tiles that are running water coming out of them. Springs, natural flowing springs, something that's not going to freeze as easily and as fast as what some of your stagnant, not moving water is, such as your mud holes and your ponds and your lakes and that kind of thing. And again, their dietary needs have changed. they're now craving that protein. They need that fish. They need those crawfish. They need the frogs that are still up and around to taking fish out of the mud. They need that protein to survive. So, going out there and trying to trap them with the same methods you used back in late October through November ain't going to work, boys. There's just no way around it. It is not. You're going to catch some coon. There's no doubt about it. But you are not going to have near the success that you would by switching over to a meat type bait or a predator canine type lure. And then that even holds more true the later we go into January, when we start getting into breeding season from Christmas on through the month of January and even into early February. Again, now you really need to be rethinking things, and you need to be thinking more towards long lines of predator lures and gland type lures. And I don't care what kind of gland it is, coyote, fox, bobcat, mink, it doesn't matter. You use those gland type lures, and you can use them in a bucket set, you can use them in a dog proof, you can use them in a dirt hole, water set, whatever the case may be, whatever you're setting. Those big boars that are hunting those females that are in heat are going to hop all over a gland lure. Doesn't matter what it is. They can't stand it. They're going to hop all over it. So from Christmas on through mid-February, you need to be thinking more along the lines of those type lures and baits for your raccoons. Another thing I want to touch on, you know, I've heard guys say, well, I don't trap the water for raccoons, or I've got guys that say, well, I don't trap dry ground for raccoons. Guys, if you really want to highball on the coon numbers, you need to be trapping both at the same time. For the simple fact is, there are nights that coon go to the water, there are nights that coon do not go to the water. So cover all your bases. And that way, no matter what happens, whether you're on a good night, off night, what it might be, you're going to put fur in the back of the truck versus some of the guys that are just strictly watermen or just strictly dry ground guys. You're going to be the man that puts more fur in the back of your truck if you cover all your bases. So, guys, that's pretty much it for today. I don't have a whole lot as far as the coon thing is, other than pay attention to the time of the year, keep these things in mind, and switch your baits and lures accordingly. I got to get back to jugging up bait here for y'all. Guys, if you haven't already, if you would please hit that subscribe button for me, hit that thumbs up, hit that notification bell, and share these videos. I greatly appreciate it a lot. My channel not only depends on it, but so does everybody else's in the outdoor channel genre. We all depend on that because it shows YouTube that you appreciate and you like this kind of content. So once again, guys, this is Dale Billingsley with another one. Signing out.